Kurt O'Keefe, Michigan bankruptcy attorney, in the backyard of world headquarters here as I work out of my home, talking today about what happens to your car when you file bankruptcy. So, you could be leasing a car as opposed to purchasing it. We'll talk about a lease. Leases under bankruptcy law have to be assumed, which is you make the payments, keep the insurance, and comply with the terms of that lease as you entered into it, or reject it, which is you give it up. Chapter 7, they get the vehicle back, and you'll be discharged. You won't have to pay any personal liability on the note that you sign. Now, in Chapter 7, if you want to keep the vehicle the way the law is written, you need to assume that lease, and that means you'd be signing papers with that creditor that you make the payments to, saying that you will keep making the payments, you will keep it insured, you will do all the things that you agreed to do initially. Now, if you do that, and later on after your Chapter 7, it ends up that you can't make the payments for some reason, or you turn that vehicle in and you owe money for mileage charges or whatever, you will have to pay those if you've assumed that lease. It's your choice on a purchase as well. If you're buying a car or any other vehicle, if you want to return it, say, I don't want to pay for it, take it, it's yours. The creditor will get that property back, but you won't owe them any money when you get your discharge in the bankruptcy case. If you want to keep the vehicle, you have an alternative called redemption, which is you can pay the value of the vehicle. So if you have a vehicle worth $3,000 and you owe $7,000, you can redeem it. However, the creditor is entitled to a lump sum payment of $3,000. Now, there are some companies that will provide financing for that. They're high interest rate, but depending on the interest rate and the payment you have now, how much money you're getting out of them. I had a client get out of about $45,000 that she owed. She owed like $70,000 on a vehicle from having traded in negative balances a few times, and so the redemption in her case was worthwhile. So the redemption is an option, and then the reaffirmation, which I don't like, because the reaffirmation, you're signing that you're going to pay again. So when you file that bankruptcy, it takes your name off the debts. If you reaffirm, you're putting your name back on the debt, and then you'll have to pay. If you can't make a payment, that car is repossessed down the road, then you can be sued by that creditor for that difference. So most cars, once in a while there'll be a car worth more than is owed on it, but most of them aren't. The way the car financing with these 6-7 year notes, and it's usually a better financial decision to let that car go back at the time of the bankruptcy. That's your shot. You can only file a Chapter 7 every 8 years, so if you're in there and you have a vehicle that, again, it's worth $3,000 and you owe $7,000, I don't see any reason why you should pay $7,000 for a $3,000 vehicle. So those are the options. At the lease, you can assume or reject. That's the same in a 7 or a 13. In a 7, you can reaffirm and sign up to do the same contract that you have, or redeem, which is pay that lump sum, pay that $3,000. Then if you borrow from someone else, then you have to pay them. You're signing a new contract with them. Or in either a chapter bankruptcy, you can give the vehicle back, and that's all the creditor gets. So that's all for today.